There it is. Hey, welcome to Blue's Plates. Thank you for pushing the button to see what Blue is cooking today. So, I am making meatloaf, and I am doing some things differently than what I've done before. Okay? My norm is I'm still using 3 pounds of meat. We have 2 pounds of ground beef, 1 pound of Italian sausage. That's my norm. I'm still using onions, which you just saw me cut up. I'm using the milder green bell pepper with the sweetest of the peppers between the green, the orange, the yellow, and the red. The red is the sweetest. So half a green pepper, half a sweet pepper, chopped onion, and I'm gonna do mushrooms. I've done mushrooms one time before. It was the moistest, is that a word? It was amazingly moist, okay? What I've never done before is sauteed everything first before putting it in my bowl and mixing it. So we are going to be doing that today. So I have my pan next to me, and I'm just gonna be sauteing these just a little, just until the onions get translucent and the mushrooms get a little bit of color. They are white mushrooms, so just until they get a little bit of color and just until the brightness comes out of the peppers. So this video is going to be in multiple parts because I am rushing. I'm a little behind today. I had a very little bit of sleep. But thankfully I did finally get my rest. So we're gonna go ahead and get a little bit of sunflower oil on our skillet, on our griddle, and get that heated. Just a little bit. Get that turned on. About medium, a little lower than medium. And then let's finish cutting up our peppers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I am having a wonderful day. My day kind of just started. The time of this video is a little after 6. And my day pretty much just started at 3. So I love meatloaf. I love lots of seasoning in my meatloaf. Oh, I was talking and you guys didn't even see me. I love a lot of seasoning in my meatloaf. Been very forewarned that I use a lot of seasoning, but it turns out good. Hubby is satisfied. Other people that have tasted some of my food are satisfied. So I'm satisfied. So I want to start chopping up our mushrooms. And we're going to use stems and all in this meatloaf. Stems and all. And I might cut these a little bigger than normal. And I'm not quite sure how much mushroom I'm using. Couple cups. But yeah, so this new technique, let me know in the comment section if you saute your veggies before adding them to your mixture, before adding them to your meatloaf. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this mixture on the pan. Did I already say this is a 3-pound meatloaf? 2 pounds ground beef, 1 pound Italian sausage. So let's talk about some different things that people do with their meatloaf that I've never done. Well, not some different things, but a few different things. So I have never put milk in a meatloaf. I've never seen anyone put milk in the meatloaf. Let me know in the comment section if you put milk in your meatloaf. I also have never made a meatloaf with breadcrumbs. Let me know in the comment section if you use breadcrumbs. I usually use crackers or oatmeal, normally crackers. And then let me know in the comment section what you all use for your meat. Do you use one kind? Do you use a couple kinds? What do you guys do for your base, for your meat base? So we've got our veggies. You guys know what I didn't do? I did not grind up our pepper. So let's do that right quick. We got our peppercorn. Turn down your volumes, warning. We have our pepper ready to go. So I was gonna do this live, but I was like, I'm already running behind. And if I'm live, I'm gonna be reading the comments. And chances are, this will never get in the oven. Now the reason this is going to be in a 2-part is because I'm going to indoor grill some broccoli and pineapple. Let's transition this. I'm going to indoor grill some broccoli and pineapple, fresh pineapple. I already cut the pineapple off. It's already been marinating in some tahini. And then I've already got the broccoli marinating and some sunflower oil and some no salt Mrs. Dash Southwest Chipotle seasoning. So I'm just going to give these a nice mix. And what I think I'm going to like about this is that I think it's going to change the flavor a little bit. By sauteing this ahead of time, I think it's going to bring out the flavor. So I am curious to know what you all do as far as the veggies in your meatloaf. All right. So let's start making the rest of the items for our meatloaf. Again, 2 pounds ground beef, 2 pounds or 1 pound Italian sausage. Let me transition my camera and everything. There we go. All right, so you saw we have our pepper. We have 1 tablespoon of crushed red peppers. We have 2 tablespoons onion powder, 2 tablespoons garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon salt. We have barbecue sauce instead of ketchup. We have dried oats instead of crackers or breadcrumbs. We also have 2 eggs. The smells are coming out nicely. Now, like I said, I've never sauteed ahead of time. But I think if I do it again, I would do my mushrooms first. And then the other items. So I'm going to let that go just a little bit longer. So, let's start adding 2 tablespoons onion powder. 2 tablespoons onion powder. 2 tablespoons garlic powder. Not sure how much pepper this is, but it's not the whole thing. 1 tablespoon crushed red peppers. We're going to start with 1/2 cup of barbecue sauce. Half teaspoon salt. Very little salt. 2 eggs. This is 2 cups of oats. We're going to start with a little under a cup. We're going to start mixing this with a spoon. And when I add my peppers, I will do this by hand. Everything is room temperature. Nothing is just, you know, right out cold. And I did remember my gloves this time. I feel like I'm a little out of touch. I haven't done a video in a while. I hope when I watch the playback, I feel like actually loading the video. Okay. Let's get our veggies in. Right back, gotta grab a pan for the meatloaf. Something else I don't do is I don't actually put it in a loaf. I actually just put it in a pan. So instead of using like a loaf, because I don't feel like this is big enough, I just use a regular pan. Today, I'm using the cast iron. So I'm going to use the cast iron today for the meatloaf. I'm going to get that in the oven. All right, let's mix our veggies into our dish. With all the liquids. That smells good. Let's mix. This is the fun part. And the hot part. So I also know that sometimes the amount of egg to use can be a little bit confusing for me, because I'm like, how do I know if I have enough egg, right? How do I know if I have enough egg? But I think I have learned over time that there's a chance you can use too much egg. I'm adding the rest of those oats, and I'm adding another ½ cup of barbecue sauce. Smells great already. I am excited for this meatloaf. So on the second part of the video, we'll come back, we'll grill up our broccoli. And we'll grill up our fresh pineapple. So I feel like it should be a little bit more like not falling apart so much. Just seems like this is my first time making meatloaf, but it's not. I feel like it should be like when I go to, I feel like it shouldn't fall apart as much. So maybe I need a little bit more binder. So let me add a little bit more of the, something tells me that my oatmeal was not weighed out like I thought it was. And I don't want to add any more egg. And this video is taking longer than I wanted it to. And I didn't plan on needing more gloves, so I'll be right back. So let's see if that makes a difference. I'm telling you, when you're rushing and ill-prepared and you know what? Something tells me that the sauteing of the vegetables is making the difference in the consistency of this oatmeal. Because that's the only thing, I mean the consistency of this meatloaf, because that's the only thing I did differently was the sauteed vegetables. Let me know in the comment section if you know about sauteing your vegetables first. If it causes if it changes the consistency of the meatloaf. All right. So we're gonna get this in the pan. That slipped off. Let's get this in our pan. I'm worried about this meatloaf. Because I'm not used to it being that texture. And I do spread it out to the edges because it's gonna shrink anyway. We're gonna put that in our preheated oven. It's been preheating to 350. My tummy is growling. Like, you need to feed me. All right. Let's get this back in the oven. And then when we come back on the next video, I'm going to be grilling some, I'll show you guys. So I have some fresh pineapple that we're gonna put on this grill. And then we have some fresh broccoli that's been marinating in some sunflower oil and Mrs. Dash no salt seasoning. And so closer to the time the meatloaf gets done is when I'll come back for part 2 of our meatloaf dinner. So if you got through to this, thank you. This video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. Because sometimes I'm just not prepared like I desire to be. But it's all good. I'm gonna go fix my hand. I burnt myself a little bit. But yes, I will see you all on the next video. Thank you for tuning into Blues Plate Part 1. See you guys in the next one. Ciao.